Hi everyone. So today's session we are going to uh, have on user management. So we'll learn how to perform the user management. What is the root user? What is the super user? What is the normal user? And this is one of the tasks which admin usually perform. Okay, so if you are working as a Linux administrator or as a cloud administrator, as a cross-skilled resource, then you should know how to manage the user. Because suppose application or DB team, they wanted you to uh, come forward and create user for them. Okay, because you are just the manager. Okay, you are managing the server, but application and database team, they are putting mm, the, their database as well as application in your server. So they need access in your environment. So that's the reason we should know that how to create a user, how to delete a user, how to provide the restricted permission, as well as what are the major files we do have uh, mm, uh, in Linux, okay, in order to manage the users. So the very basic command is user add. Suppose I want to add a user Vivek. Vivek is already there, so I will add test user, test one. So test user is created. Okay. So you can check this user ID and then test one. Okay. So now you can see. So now where all these details you can see about this test user. So there are one file cat etc/pass.wd. So this is the main file. Okay. So you can see all the flags, all the users. Okay. We'll discuss one by one. So if you want, you can grab your user pipe grab and then test one. Okay, let me clear the screen. Okay, so now you can see your test user and the second flag and also the group. Okay, and uh, the group and the owner, your home directory, and what is the cell is assigned to this user. So I already documented. I will put in all these commands in my description. Okay, so the major super user or root user. What is the super user and root user? So I logged in as a Vivek, but I become the root. I just switch to root. So root is basically is the administrator who can manage, delete, modify, or so root can do anything. Okay, it's a super user. He can perform all the tasks from inside the server. Okay, he can manage the user. He can modify the user's credential and everything he can perform. So, and if you want to see the and the other one is the system user. Okay, the system user. So let me clear you, explain you the details about the users. Okay, so root user, super user of the root user is the most powerful user. He's the administrator of. So basically, root. Whenever you will create any system, so you will see a root by default. Okay, some of the root users by default gets created. Okay, here you can see the details /etc/pass.wd. So here you can see root, daemon, sys. So these are the system users. All user you can see. I will discuss the user ID in this session. Okay. But initially, whenever you will create some system user automatically gets created. So in all the system users, there are one user root user which has the super user privilege. Okay. So that's why I mentioned that super user. So this user is very powerful. This user can delete, modify, or even corrupt the system. Okay. So if you are root, just make sure that you are running the correct command in the system. System user are user created by the softwares or application. For an example, if we install Apache, it will create a user Apache. These kinds of user are known as the system user. Okay, so suppose you are installing some software or some prerequisites in the operating system. So there are few users are automatically gets created. So Apache is the one of the users. Okay, which so it's in this example you can see Apache is the service. Okay, we'll discuss about the Apache as well. I don't want to divert the topic. So once you will install that application, one user automatically gets created. That's called Apache. And the next one is the normal user. So normal users are the users created by the root user. So, okay, so let me pause a second. So suppose you want to provide access to one of the application user who needs access in your system. Okay, so who is going to create the user? Root is going to create the user. They are normal users like anything, John, Ramu, etc., or anything. User has given permission to create the remove user. In Vivek system, every users will have a unique user ID. It is known as the UID, and the range of the UID will be as so. Root users always have the will be the UID 0. So if you want to check here, you can see so root. So this one is the UID and the GID. So UID and GID both is 0 for root user. Here you can see this is the one. I can increase the font. Let me. Now you can see. So here is the one. System user always start from 1 to 499. Okay, so like for the application, as I explained you, so whatever the application you are installing, so these are the reserved UID for the application from 1 to 499. And normal user UID starts from 500 to 60,000. Okay, so in this example you can see, so last user I created, by default this user by default means mm, mm, by default. So there are prerequisite. Okay, so by default this user gets 1002 this UID, and also the range of the minimum GID max GID is in the file slash etc login.defs. So let's learn about this file. What is this file and what is the range currently defined in this file? Okay. Okay. So here in this file currently nothing is mentioned, but yes, you can decide your UID minimum length, UID maximum. Okay. And also you mask, you can decide, define, and also TTY group. So this file contain all these details. Suppose you want to define some particular range for the UID and GID, you can define in this file. So that's that file called etc login.defs. And also, as I explained, etc patch WD is your first file. Whenever first file, I mean, whenever you will create create one user, you can see that user details in etc patch WD. And the second one is the etc shadow. So let's see first. Okay, what we have in etc shadow. Okay. So etc shadow contain your password information in encrypted form. Okay, that's what we see in the etc shadow file. And etc group, so etc group contain all your group information in the system. Suppose you want to see what are the groups I have, etc, and then group, you can see in the system. So I have test one group, test two group, vivek and system. So all these groups you can see in your etc group file, and each group has some privilege, okay, associated with it. Suppose you are adding some user part of the root group, so that user will have the equivalent privilege like the root user. Okay, and suppose you are running some application and you want some user to be part of that application, then definitely you need to add that user part of the that group. Okay, so that that user can have the required permission in order to run the program. Okay, so etc, the first line will be like this to this one. There is a 7 field in each separated by the inverted comma. Okay, you can see. So first is the user and username, and the second is the pointer to set etc shadow where the encrypted password for the user stores. UID is the UID, GID is the group ID. Contain the user encrypted password as I told you. So this is the one you can see etc group. So the etc groups contain all the group system group as well as the normal groups. Okay, which was created by us. Okay, in system group in etc group. How to create a user? Okay, so how to create? I already told you how to create a user. So user add is your main command, and later on you can provide the UID, GID. Okay, so here is the example. So user add hyphen U, I am just giving the UID, G hyphen the GIP. You can see what so what is his role? Okay, so Vivek role is suppose tester. Okay, hyphen D is the directory. Okay, here you can choose your directory like Vivek, and then what will be the cell. Okay, if you want, you can run this command, then it will work. Let me run this command test to user add. Also, we don't have group, so we need to add group add. Now let's run the command. Okay, so KSS is not executable. Okay, so pin bash. Okay, so user test 2 already exists. So let's do it test 3. So 555 is not unique, so we can change the UID details as well. Okay, the UID should be unique if you are so 777. Okay, now it is done. So if you want to see the property of this test3 user, add etc slash pass wd, then pipe grep, and then test3. So what is this? So test user, what is the UID? Is 777 GID. We didn't, so this is the by default. What is the um, role of this user? So tester, this is the home directory and this is the cell. That's what we have defined, okay, in this command. How to create a group? So in this command, we know we already created the group add, then group name. You can, and how to check that? Add slash etc slash group and then pipe grep and then test. Now you can see we have three group test1, test2. And what group we created? Test2. So test2 was created with group ID 1003. So group add, if you want to add any group to assign to any users, so that's what as you I already told you how to do and how to switch to. Suppose you want to modify some user. So suppose I want to change the group ID or GID for test3, then you can simply set etc pass wd. Okay, go in this user test3. Suppose you want to change the UID to 778, escape, then WK. Okay. Now you can see again ID. Where is the ID? Group add this one already. Okay, let me ID and test3. Now you can see group ID already, UID already been changed from 777 to 778. Removing a user. Okay. So user del is the command. User and then del test3. User already been deleted. but you can still see his home directory. Okay, if you want to see ls-ld, you will see no such file or directory. Okay, so I think this was not created when we. But if you want to delete the directory, then userdel -r, then username. Okay, it will recursively delete this one, no home directory as well. Userdel -r. This is the command. Okay, how to change the password for a user? So passwd, and then test1. So I don't have any test1, test also we don't have. Let me see any. Let me add one user. So we have test user. We have okay. So create double s passwd test. Okay, now you can get the password anything. Test @123. Okay, this was unchanged because I test. So updated successfully password information for test user. So passwd is the command where you can update the password. So how to set the password complexity? Okay, for any for all the users. So here is the file. Let's open up. If you'll see the so common password. Okay, common password cat. You can see. So here you can define your password complexity. Okay, in this file. So that's all we have in user management. User management is nothing but you should know how to create the user, how to delete the user, how to update the bash file, how to restrict the user to log in any system. Okay, how to change the password of the users, how to okay. So chmod and change command. Okay, suppose you want to see the change -l, then that what is the property of the user. Okay, so then you can see by running all these commands. Okay, and as an administrator you should know how to perform all these tasks in the system. Okay, thank you so much guys. I will upload another video probably in next couple of days. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for watching.